Yo nerds, what's up? Ninja Dad here, coming at you today with episode 6 of the Skyrim Legendary Guide. So today we're doing the Bleak Falls Barrow mission, and we're going to be showing you some different builds that you can make, and dragon battling. So we'll get started right away by just showing you that your different magic costs as we're going. And we're looking mainly at the moment at Alteration and Destruction because that's one of my builds, and the other one will be Alteration and Restoration, and then the third one that I'd like to show you would be Archery and Conjuration. So let's have a look now that we've got some different gears you can have a look at to see what kind of builds that I've done. So one's with Archery and block for your gauntlets. You got a helmet with Alteration Destruction on it. So you've got, for magic areas, you've got a helmet, you've got armor, you've got a ring, and you've got a necklace that you can use. For the archery, the only part that's different is you don't have the armor, but you can put on a gauntlet. So you have the 4 bits, and the 4 bits can give you 25% off making all of your magic abilities and stuff free. So I'll chuck some of this gear on, and then you can have a look just to see that there's a 0 magic cost for Alteration and Destruction. Yep, and there, as you can see, 0 cost and 0 cost. Right. Basically what that means is that we can completely and utterly run amok with Alteration and Destruction magic, and it doesn't cost us a damn thing. So what we're going to do is, because I've already maxed out the Alteration and Destruction to 100, I'll show you the spells that we're going to use, and then we're going to go legendary. So we've got Paralyzed for the Alteration, and Touch of Death that we got out of Hobsfall Cave. And now we're going to make Destruction legendary and Alteration legendary, and I'm going to show you just how fast it is to build those two back up again using just these 2 spells. Yep. Right, so we'll just do a quick save and then we'll get going. Okay, so it's probably a good idea to point out right now that Touch of Death, that does 40 damage per second over, and it does it for 4 seconds. So you can see that different opponents have different resistances to magic, and this particular opponent here that's just getting absolutely wiped out right now must have a reasonable magic resistance, because it's taking a bit longer than most of the others. As you'll see in some of the other battles, some opponents, they actually cave really quite quickly, and that all comes down to the magic resistance. Okay. So I also think that one of the reasons why I like this build so much and why it's so devastating is its crowd control capabilities. Well, it's pretty hard to state them strongly enough. As you'll see right here, when you're facing just two opponents and they're both on the ground and completely under control, and as you can see, the magic resistance isn't so good and they're getting wiped out really quick. So yeah, it basically shows just how good it is to control large numbers, and because you can control with that 5, 6, 7 different opponents all at once. Yeah, it's got a lot of merit just for that alone, but that's not all it does. Okay, another benefit that you can have from having basically two classes of magic that are totally free for you is that you can do other spells on top of those and not worry about running out of magic on your main classes that you're using. As you'll see there, I just used a frenzy spell to basically thin the herd and show off a different way that you can control people. And yep, now we're just going to clean this one here up. It's probably also worth pointing out, we haven't even gone through the doorway into Bleak Falls Barrow, and the alteration is what, 75? Yep, here it is. So yeah, the capabilities of this destruction alteration build to go up levels in your different classes is actually really strong. So we can come back to that one in a little bit, but we'll take a break from that one and show you some of the Alteration Restoration, which you can use it for all these skeletons for a different way of crowd control. And whilst the paralyze doesn't do any damage to them, and neither does the spell that we're going to use, which will be the Repel Lesser Undead, because we've got magic to spare, we can then summon, I don't know, a Dremora Lord to wipe them all out for us while we're doing all the crowd control. Just different techniques that you can use for your battle strategies now, different strings in your bow, so to speak. Okay, another absolute bonus to this particular build with Alteration Restoration is that, well, as you're going through, and this is in very close quarters, you're likely to hit your own creatures with your spells. Well, as you can see, yep, I just took out my Dremora Lord with the Paralyze, but I haven't hurt him. He just gets up and carries on doing what he does. My main job in this is, like I said, control the crowd and let him do the damage, and with that one there, especially in close quarters, it's so beneficial because he doesn't take damage from either one of those spells. I remember when I first started playing Skyrim all those years ago, and this guy here gave me such a hard time when I first encountered him. He was such a nightmare. He would chase me around with his frost attacks and just, yeah, make my life hard. Now with this build, he's on the ground, he's wiped out, he's absolutely nothing. And if you just take note, we've just had to make the Alteration Legendary again just because, well, it's that effective. So yeah, he's gonna get done and there's no threat to us. So one of the major benefits to this build is, as I've talked about before, survivability. The survivability of this is if they're on the ground and they can't hit you, then they're not going to kill you. Simple as that.
The sooner you found I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing for me and my sister.
You see? The terminal... Ah! The Dragon Stone of Bleak Falls Barrow. Seems you are a cut above the usual brutes the Jarl sends my way.
Okay, so now we come across to fight a dragon. This is the first real battle encounter you have with a dragon. The first one, well, I don't think it counts because you were running away from it with your hands bound and there's nothing you could really do. This one, now we get a chance to, well, kill that giant flying nightmare that shoots some kind of elemental blast out of it, and in many cases can also hit you with a shout of its own. So, yep, dragons can be nightmares on Legendary, and in most cases it's a one-hit kill for a melee attack. If you get hit with one of their shouts, yeah, you probably can survive if you can take shelter and avoid the dragon. But this is where the archery conjuration build that I've got really shines. You want range and you want the ability to distract, and we can choose some conjuration creatures that actually hit from a range as well, so we're going to get the best of both worlds from that. And once again, I've also chosen my battle location, like I've talked about in previous videos. I never, if I can possibly ever help it, fight a dragon out in the open because, well, let's be honest, they eat you, literally. I generally look for some kind of shelter, some kind of cover, fight from a doorway like I'm doing here. This is a standard battle tactic for me to use against dragons. I've got somewhere that's kind of like a refuge that I can just dip back into should they target me and attack me directly. Armed with that, I've also got my ranged attack, which, look, I haven't mentioned it before, but bound weapons are Daedric weapons. So your bound sword, a Daedric sword, your bound battle axe is a Daedric battle axe, and your bound bow is a Daedric bow. And with the bound, once you've increased it up to the max thing, you've got, it hits harder, it's got a soul trap, it banishes certain creatures and turns raised ones. So there's an awful lot that it does in something that you don't even have to carry. So you'll probably see me use the bound weapons quite a lot.
The Jarl has appointed me to be your housecarl. Lead the way. I'm right behind you. How can I serve you, my Thane?
I smell weakness. You cannot escape me! challenger is near. Are you prepared for your death? Are you prepared for your death?
So, a dragonborn appears. Whirlwind sprint. Then it
It's
will
probably
be your
important to note here that shouts
master body.
are, well, they can be quite a big part of your battle tactics and strategies, and they're definitely something that you don't want to just leave on the table, so to speak. So but as you go through the quest, yep, you'll get bits and pieces like the whirlwind sprint here, but you really want to be finding ones that you're going to be using quite a bit. So I mean, you're basically given unrelenting force, which, to be perfectly honest, is a super valid skill in itself when you're fighting different opponents. Probably the one I used most against ranged targets would be the Mark for Death, but look, there's an absolute ton of them, and there's plenty to suit your style of gameplay. Right, so here that's just showing off that you've got a one-hit capability of these dragons that you're facing. You want to run out like a fool with a battle axe, go right ahead. That's what's going to happen. You can try it again with a conjuration, so you've got something to at least distract the dragon, but let's be fair about this. One mistake and you're looking at the loading screen. These dragons are tough. It's legendary, and you make any kind of errors and it can be lights out just like that. So yeah, you just gotta play a different kind of strategy on legendary. And yeah, once again here I'm looking for, well, I'm looking for cover, and I'm looking for a place to fight a dragon from cover and safety. Being out in the open, well, on legendary I've never experienced success out in the open against a dragon. Just to reiterate the point here, success for me for fighting dragons on Legendary has always been position of cover. This little spot here I've chosen because the dragon can't actually get in here physically. He can do like a shout or a breath attack to hit me, but the idea here is he can't one hit me and eat me, which I've already shown that that's what happens. And you can just duck in undercover and avoid getting blasted like everyone else just got blasted by that one pass. Yeah, they might not die to that, but I bloody would. So yeah, don't get caught in the open. Fight from a position of cover where you've got shelter from the aerial attacks, and it's best to do it from a position where the dragon can't physically get you, but you can get them with a range. And once again, summon works. Don't just leave your poor little helper out there wherever they are to take the brunt of all the attack. You might as well summon creatures as well and get much more damage done much more quickly. Yeah, so we've covered quite a bit in this video. What have we done? We've done the Bleak Falls barrow mission, and I've been showing off a few of the different builds so that you can get to see that there are completely different strategies for combat, and the different builds you use, you can build whatever you like to play the way you want to play. Remember, it's your game, play it your way. But being able to see some different ones means that you might have some different ideas. And if you check this part out here that I've just shown you, try not to hit your Dremora Lords with your bow, especially your bound bow, because that will just unsummon them immediately. And in combat, that's why I was saying that the safe way with the Dremora Lords in those tunnels is the Alteration Restoration, so you can't actually hurt your Dremora Lords as they're running through. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I've had a blast so far with the Legendary Guide. I hope that you guys are having fun too. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks very much for watching.
You lead, I'll follow.